Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So today we will learn about hematuria. So can you tell me what is meant by hematuria? See, hematuria is defined as the presence of 5 or more RBCs per high power field. I will tell you in simple language. You remember presence of blood in the urine which imparts its color to the urine is nothing but the hematuria. So it may be deep red color, smoky brown color, cola colored or faint pink color. So remember these colors. So what are the types of hematuria? According to RBCs in the urine, it may be gross hematuria or microscopic hematuria. Gross hematuria is overall bloody, smoky or tea colored urine, and microscopic hematuria is more than 5 RBCs per high power field. So according to the timing, it may be early hematuria, terminal hematuria, diffuse hematuria. It is important for the theory only, not so important these are. So important types of hematuria are pathophysiological. It may be glomerular hematuria or non-glomerular hematuria. So hematuria can be false hematuria. It is nothing but the discoloration of the urine from the pigments such as food coloring and myoglobin. After the ingestion of the beetroot, we get the false hematuria. Then there is also type of silent hematuria. It is due to the tumors of kidney or bladder unless proved otherwise. It is silent hematuria. Now we will learn about the etiology of hematuria. Diseases of the urinary system is the most common etiological factor for the hematuria. The glomerular, interstitial, uroepithelial and vascular are etiological factors for the hematuria. Glomerular causes due to the IgA nephropathy, glomerulonephritis. Then interstitial causes are allergic interstitial nephritis, analgesic nephropathy, renal cystic diseases and acute pyelonephritis tuberculosis. Renal allograft rejection also causes the hematuria. So these are diseases of the kidney, of the various parts of the kidney get these diseases and which causes the hematuria. So can you see the picture here? Here we can see the RBCs in the urine sample. This is microscopic picture. So uroepithelial diseases are due to the malignancy, trauma, papillary necrosis, cystitis, also called as urethritis, prostatitis, and parasitic diseases of the kidney and stones of the kidney also causes the hematuria. And vascular diseases such as the arterial emboli or thrombosis, arteriovenous fistulae or renal vein thrombosis also causes the hematuria. Now we will see the systemic disorders which causes the hematuria. See, these are less common but we have to see it. Okay. Then systemic disorders such as hematological disorders, infections, connective tissue diseases, cardiovascular diseases, endocrine and metabolic diseases also causes the hematuria. Diseases of the adjacent organ also causes hematuria such as appendicitis, carcinoma of the rectum, carcinoma of the colon, uterocervical cancer also causes the blood in the urine, that is hematuria. Drugs and chemical agents such as anticoagulation agents, rifampicin, sulfonamide, cyclophosphamide, phenytoin also causes hematuria. After the ingestion of these drugs we get hematuria. Then miscellaneous is exercise induced hematuria. see the differential diagnosis for the hematuria: polluted urine, menstruation, drug and food, rifampicin, nitrofurantoin, sulfonamides, adriamycin, porphyria, porphyrin in the urine, hemoglobinuria and myoglobinuria. These are differential diagnosis for the hematuria. You have to remember this one for the theory and also practical purpose. It can be asked for the practicals. So we will see the here signs and symptoms of the hematuria. The first step in the evaluation of the hematuria consists of detailed and thorough physical examination. Thorough physical examination is important. We should make efforts to distinguish glomerular causes from the extraglomerular causes of the hematuria. So signs and symptoms: passage of clots in the urine suggests an extraglomerular cause. Passage of clots in the urine, it may be due to the extraglomerular cause. The fever, abdominal pain, dysuria, frequency and recent enuresis in older children may point to the urinary tract infection, and recent trauma to the abdomen may indicative of the hydronephrosis. Early morning periorbital puffiness, periorbital edema over the eyes, periorbital puffiness, weight gain, oliguria, dark colored urine and edema or hypertension suggest a glomerular cause. Hematuria due to the glomerular cause is painless. Remember. Recent throat or skin infection may suggest post-infectious glomerulonephritis. It also causes the hematuria. So it is suggestive of the post-infectious glomerulonephritis, mostly streptococcal infection. Patient may also experience the joint pain, skin rashes and prolonged fever in the adolescent. It is suggestive of a collagen vascular disorder. Then skin rashes, arthritis can occur in Henoch, Scolen, purpura and systemic lupus erythematosus. Information regarding the exercise, menstruation, recent bladder catheterization, intake of certain drugs or toxic substances, or passage of a calculus may also assist in the differential diagnosis. A family history that is suggestive of Alport syndrome, collagen vascular diseases, urolithiasis or polycystic kidney diseases is important. We should remember these points. We will see the physical examination. Measurement of blood pressure and volume status is especially important in the glomerulonephritis, and evaluation of the presence of periorbital puffiness, that is edema or peripheral edema, is important. Detailed skin examination to look for the purpura. Abdominal examination to look for the palpable mass reveals a renal tumor or hydronephrosis may exist. A palpable bladder after voiding indicates the obstruction or retention of the urine. A bruit over the kidney suggests a vascular cause. Always check for the extrarenal manifestations and comorbid conditions. Check for other sites of bleeding. PR examination should not be missed to diagnose the prostatitis, prostate cancer, epididymitis, meatus stenosis and other structural causes of the hematuria. Then inspect external genitalia in the male for the trauma. Atrial fibrillation raises the possibility of renal embolic infarction, especially if the patient has a flank pain, back pain. Costovertebral angle tenderness is also suggestive of the pyelonephritis, nephrolithiasis and ureteropelvic junction obstruction. Detailed ophthalmic evaluation is also important in case of the hematuria. Then diagnosis. The laboratory test order for the evaluation of the hematuria based on the clinical history and physical examination. Tests that may be helpful include the following. First is the urine analysis with the careful microscopic review of the urine sample. Microscopic is important, and most important and most commonly used is urine dip strip analysis. It is most commonly used method for the testing of the urine for the blood, and dip sticks or strips are used in this method. And false positive test may also occur in the settling of the myoglobinuria or hemoglobinuria, confirmed by the absence of RBCs on the microscopic examination. So this is diagnosis for the hematuria. Now kidney biopsy is also done, but it is rarely indicated. It is indicated in the significant proteinuria, abnormal renal function, recurrent persistent hematuria, and serologic abnormalities, recurrent gross hematuria, and family history of the end stage renal disease. In these cases only kidney biopsy is done for the patient of the hematuria. So friends, now what is the management for the hematuria? Hematuria is a sign and not itself is a disease. It is only a sign of various diseases. Thus, therapy should be directed at the process of causing the disease. Asymptomatic hematuria generally does not require treatment. In conditions associated with abnormal clinical, laboratory or imaging studies, treatment may be necessary as appropriate with the primary diagnosis. So disease management for the hematuria. Surgical interventions may be necessary with certain anatomic abnormalities such as uretero-pelvic junction obstruction in case of obstruction, tumor, significant urolithiasis. Dietary modification is usually not indicative except for the children who may tend to develop the hypertension or edema as a result of the primary disease process. For example, nephritis. Patient with the persistent microscopic hematuria should be monitored every 6 to 12 months or every year for the appearance of signs or symptoms indicative for the progress of renal diseases. They should monitored every 6 to 12 months. And here we reach to the end, and thank you so much for the watching, and subscribe to my channel, and also like this video and share with your friends. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.